Okay, episode 3. I can't believe it. Welcome to Start Small Podcast. I am Laura, the Microbiz Chick, and today we're going to talk about leaving our mark. And I wasn't planning on talking about this today, but as I was taking some notes in the morning, which I normally do, I take some notes in the morning, it just started coming out, and so I wanted to share that with you. But before we get started, would you just give me a like? It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me kind of get out there because, you know, I'm brand new and would love to increase the audience. And so it doesn't cost you a thing. Just give me a like and subscribe so that you get notified when new issues or new podcasts come out. They come out every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So I guess before I get started, let me show you what I do. So I have one of these. These are cool notebooks. I love the horizontal layout. Oh, there it is. So it's a horizontal layout, and I'll try to put a link in there. I don't think I have an affiliate link or anything, but it's from, it's just the right notebook. And I get a lot of, they have different sizes. I have little ones and big ones. I love the horizontal ones because in the morning, so in the mornings I get up and I kind of put a line here and I just kind of right here describe what the day looks like, you know, the weather and the birds or, you know, whatever like that. Just because I like to look back like the previous year and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the day the hummingbird left, and you know, something really silly. And then over here, I just write. It's like a brain dump. I write whatever's on my mind. And this is a great way to build content or to record ideas that you have, which is, that was my initial thought for today's episode. I was writing notes was how to take care of our ideas. But instead, today I'm going to talk about leaving a mark. And so let me find my notes today, because I was just questioning. I was like, why do we as creatives or, you know, micro businesses, you know, why do we want to start something? Why do we want to create something? And as micro businesses and creative entrepreneurs, we're a little bit different because we're not real big. Usually most of us work from home. Most of us are solopreneurs. Now there's a few of you who are micro businesses that you do have a business and maybe you have 1 or 2 employees. But for most of us, we're solopreneurs or we're hobbyists, either one. So we could be writers or musicians or a painter or, you know, a really small business like I am. And so I was just asking the question today, why do we do it? You know, we're not making a ton of money. Some people are, and that's awesome. But why this drive to be creative? Why this drive to create our own businesses? I mean, not technically, no doubt about it. I could go out and get a job and make a lot more money. Like even with my vintage typewriter business, which does really well, the amount of time that my husband and I put into it versus our profit, what we pay ourselves, it's like $2 or $3 an hour is what it comes out to. I could get a part-time job flipping burgers and make more money. But to me, that sounds like death, you know? That is the last thing I want to do. So why do we do it? Why do we work so hard for such a small profit margin? And there's a lot of reasons. Or why do you do it? Why do you have all these ideas and you want to pursue them? Why do you have your micro business or small business? Or why are you out there trying to sell your art or your books or your music? That's a really good question. I really want you to think about that. And so, you know, one of the things I'm learning this year, and if you guys saw my first one, you know that I am a believer in Jesus. I have submitted my life to him. So I pray all the time. And I do, the Lord God does speak to me, and maybe we can do a podcast on that. But one of the things that I felt like he was really speaking to me in this last year was expanding my perspective on why I do things and who I do it for. And that was the big thing. It wasn't the why as much as it was the who, because in reality, I was doing everything for me. What's gonna make me happy? What's gonna, you heard my story last time. I started my first business because I just wanted to stay at home with my son, and I was able to do that. I didn't make a lot of money, but I was able to stay home with my son, and he was happy. He had a great childhood. It wasn't perfect. He had to go through the 2 divorces that I went through. So, it was rough for him, but he was home and he was happy, and we laughed a lot. So, and now, I do things because, I want to express myself. I just have this inside of me. I want to express myself. I want to do something. There's just something in me that needs to come out in creativity, But then when God started challenging me in who I was doing for, what my end game was, what the end purpose was, I really started thinking, wow, this isn't about me. This is about me leaving a legacy for my son and my grandchildren, leaving an inheritance. And the Bible talks about how we are to leave an inheritance for our children and our children's children. And I think that's not necessarily money. I think, because I started thinking, I'm in my 50s and I'm like, God, I have no money, to give him. But I'm building something that, like, especially with my magazine, Pale Elaine, which please go to my website, paleelaine.com. Would love it if you would subscribe to my magazine. I am building a legacy for my son, even if he doesn't want to run the company. I am building a company. He will be the owner of this company when I am gone. Now, that doesn't mean he has to run it or anything. I've already been thinking who can take the reins, when I'm gone, because this magazine isn't about me. This magazine is about other people. I'm building this. Yes, it's a benefit to me, but yes, it benefits and encourages the people who read it, but I'm building it for other people. There's somebody who's going to take over the management and the running and the editing and the publishing of this magazine someday. So every day I think, okay, who's that going to be? And I pray about it, and I'm like, Lord, bring me the right people that can run this, that can take this and take it to the next level. My son will always be the owner of this unless he chooses to give that away. But I hope he doesn't. I hope this magazine is around for a long time. I hope he retains ownership of it and passes it on to his kids. And so this is my inheritance. And it's not, and yes, that will have a financial impact on it, but I hope it has a visionary impact. Also, my inheritance that I'm leaving for my son is, what I'm speaking into him now. What am I leaving now? Everything I do in my life is going to impact my children and their children. So all the decisions I make now. So when I'm gone, what I have done with my life, the connections and friendships I have made, the choices I have made with my time and my money, that all impacts them. Also, what I have learned in my life and impart to them, that impacts their life. So where I end my life is where they begin. So I always, for years, I've thought of this in a spiritual way and not necessarily with my business, but now I'm starting to think about it with my business too. But spiritually, I want my son to leave, to start where I have left off, so that he is in a place spiritually that, when he's my age, that is far greater than where I will ever be. And so when we build whatever it is we're building, our businesses, our lives, whatever it is, we want to make sure we have an end game. Who are we doing this for? Who are we leaving it for? What are we leaving? Is it something that they can build upon, or are they going to have to tear it down? I mean, we all have family issues. Everybody does. And there's some things that we just have to tear down and then rebuild. But as much as we can, are we giving our kids and grandkids something that they can build upon? That's their inheritance. And it could be emotional, mental, spiritual, physical, financial. It can be all of that. It should be all of that. So what are we leaving them to build on? So don't think just money on that. Again, it's the start small. I'm in my 50s. I'm just now thinking of this. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm late to the game. But I'm going to start with what I have. What I have is I'm building a business that my son can take to the next level. What I'm building is teaching him to be out of debt. What I'm building is I'm imparting into him the lessons I've learned in life and the things I've learned about walking with God. I'm imparting all those things into him as much as I can so that he ends his life in a much better place. I can't imagine where he's going to be and what he can hand off to his kids. I mean, that's really exciting to me. So wanted to leave that with you. It doesn't matter what you have or don't have. Don't focus on what you don't have. Focus on what you do have and start today. And if you realize, oh, I didn't impart very many good things into my kids or grandkids before, that's okay. Start over. Ask their forgiveness. Bless them now. Bless and start speaking life into them so that they can be better than you are. Better with their money, better with their education, better with their spiritual walk, better in business or in their job, whatever it is. Help your kids to be better than you. And if you don't have children, ask God, who is that? What do you have? Maybe you're an artist. Maybe you also do, or you're a writer, or you have a little business. Who can you pass that on to? Make it so that it's not something that ends with you, that you were the beginning and somebody's going to take it to the next level. So that's my challenge for you today. Leave a mark, make a legacy, not just a mark. Leave an inheritance, leave a legacy for somebody. So I'm going to leave that thought with you. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.